Salam and welcome to SomaliDispatch.com's news headlines for February 14, 2025. I'm Abdul Qadir Hussein. Saudi Arabia is set to host summit with leaders of Egypt, Jordan, Qatar, and the UAE to discuss Donald Trump's proposal for U.S. control over Gaza and the relocation of Palestinians. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas is also expected to attend. Trump made his suggestion during Netanyahu's visit to Washington, leading to a strong opposition from Arab nations. The summit reflects a rare display of unity among Arab states who are calling for a Palestinian state alongside Israel rather than forced displacement. A court in Sweden sentenced a man to 3 years and 3 months in prison on Friday after finding him guilty of joining the terrorist group ISIS. This marks the first case in Sweden where someone has been convicted of participating in a terrorist organization since a new law was passed. A 23-year-old was convicted of participation in terrorist organization, financing terrorism, and 3 instances of traveling aboard on terrorist purposes. According to court, all travels were to Somalia and were linked to ISIS. Somalia remains one of the most corrupt countries globally, ranking 179 out of 180 nations in Transparency International's 2024 Corruption Perceptions Index, CBI, with the score of 9 out of 100. This marks a slightly decline from previous years, reflecting persistent challenges in governance, accountability, and institutional weakness. Corruption continues to undermine stability, economic recovery, and public trust, with security sectors particularly affected by fund misappropriations. But despite some reform efforts, weak implementation and political interference have limited progress. Corruption also exacerbated the impact of climate change on Somalia's fragile economy. The continued fighting between Puntland forces and ISIS militants in Cal Miskaad mountains in Bari region in Somalia has displaced 10,000 families. Puntland accuses ISIS of terrorizing civilians, causing instability. Displaced people are now in safer areas but face severe food and water shortages and health concerns. Puntland's humanitarian ministry is working on relief efforts. There are accusations against the Somali federal government regarding its role in the conflict, though details remain vague. Somaliland President Abdurrahman Mohamed Abdullahi Ero expressed appreciation for the United Arab Emirates' ongoing support and highlighted the importance of his strengthening economic and developmental ties between the two nations. During an interview with Emirates news agency at the 2025 World Government Summit, he commended the United Arab Emirates' investments, particularly DP World's role in transforming the port of Berbera into a strategic trade hub. He also emphasized the impact of the Berbera Free Zone and the Berbera Corridor in enhancing economic connectivity with Ethiopia. President Ero praised UAE-funded hospitals in Berbera and Bur'a for improving healthcare services and suggested that Somaliland could become a major exporter of livestock products to the Gulf countries if adequately supported. Those were today's news headlines. For updated news and interviews in English, please follow us on all social media platforms, SomaliDispatch.com.